Of Reddit. Have you ever broken bro code or wanted to? What happened? Story 1. Not me personally, but it directly affected me in this asshole broke the bro code. I met a guy at work who was having some pretty significant troubles. I won't go into detail about what they were, but it's clear that the guy could use a friend. So I started talking to him, figuring stuff out, giving advice, etc. It seemed to be helping a lot, and so my bosses decided to let me be his de facto supervisor. Given that we'd already been established, had a decent report, no big deal. Nothing really changed for a while. See, around that time I was going through a divorce and custody battle. My ex-wife had just split up with this guy she'd been since I filed the divorce. And I made the mistake of asking this other guy to help me pick up my stuff from the pre-divorce house. I didn't think anything of it, really, until a few weeks later. Noticed the guy seemed extremely conflicted, holding back explanations where he would have shared them before. I couldn't figure out what the problem was, though, so I went to some other coworkers to ask if they knew anything about what was going on. The guy was dating my ex-wife during a custody battle, and they were engaged. They got married less than 8 months. During a custody battle for my 3-year-old daughter. Yeah, bro code equals shattered. Story 2. My friend was pinning after this girl he works with for ages and ages. It's been so long that we were taking bets on whether he'd ask out before or after they found MH370. Whatever that means. You guys can put in the comments, I'm not really sure. The other night, it was any other night of him waxing lyrical about this girl. However, how wonderful she is, how she smells, how she's the one, the dream girl. His version of the mother. Anyway, I'd some pretty bad news that day. So my mood was not great, and I was sick listening to his emo ass bitching. The second he said, "You don't understand how hard his life amongst the other things I'm sure it is for me right now," I lost my cool. I then promptly went behind his back, started speaking to this girl, flirting, and then asked her out in the space of day. I never met her before, and was still able to go further than he had in months. When he figured out, after months and months of pinning, he was pissed. I'm seeing him tonight at a friendly gathering, but by all accounts, I am going to get an ass whooping. Story 3. The only time I can think of was my freshman year of college. My roommate Jay was hanging a mutual friend. One weekend, Jay tells me a friend of his from home is coming up for a long weekend and he wouldn't be around. I pretty much said okay, and thought nothing of it. Well, A and I are hanging out. She asks where Jay is because she hasn't heard from him and he's not in my room with us. I mentioned he had a friend come up and he's not going to be around for this weekend, which wasn't too out of the ordinary since he regularly stayed at his brother's house off campus. She gets suspicious and shit and freaks out, which is when I realize I probably should have just stuck with, I don't know, or he's at his brother's. Find out shortly after that his friend is actually his long-distance girlfriend, who is apparently 6 months preggo. Drama here, drama there, drama fucking everywhere. I stay out of that shit. But then A and I and another friend B go to a party. A and I both end up super hammered and dancing and sucking face basically the whole walk home. Whenever B wasn't looking, we thought we were smart. B totally knew. So we get back to the dorms. B specifically walks me and my room, and A to her room. Well, I was almost 18 and dying to lose my virginity. So I wasn't having all that shit. I text A, she stumbles over to my room, and we go at it. And after that, just about every weekend A and I would get fucked up and then fuck. A couple times in my room, while Jay was there sleeping, our dorms were maybe 20 feet by 20 feet, with no divider or anything. I highly suspect he knew, but neither one of us said anything about it. I felt bad, but I was also really enjoying actually having sex.